Olá, boa noite. Eu sou o Biribó, hoje com o vídeo 2 de Runaway 3, uma reviravolta do destino. Ontem, a Dina atuou para livrar o Brian do enterro pelo suicídio autossimulado, mas quando ela chegou no jazigo, viu que quem estava com o celular do Brian e dando as coordenadas era Gabo, um outro interno da instituição psiquiátrica, e não o Brian. Daí, ela ficou cheia de dúvidas. Será que o Brian morreu de verdade? Será que ele fugiu? Será que de fato assassinou Kordsmeier? Será que ela está sendo apenas usada pelo tal de Gabo? O Gabo diz que a levará até um amigo que sabe onde Brian está. Para esclarecer a situação toda, ela aceita levar o Gabo no seu carro e quando param para um lanche, a cena corta para o hospital psiquiátrico, onde Brian revela a Gabo, isso no passado naturalmente, que o Dr. Bennett quer mantê-lo preso numa cela, por isso ele resolve fugir. O Gabo, que já fugiu 1 milhão de vezes, diz que o jeito é usar a sala que eles conhecem como cassino e dali, pelos dutos de ventilação, usando um mapa, é sair para escapar. Mas um outro interno, Kurgan, ouve o plano e resolve ele próprio fugir, deixando a porta do tal de cassino trancada por dentro.
The other day, the one in the nurse's room went on the fritz, and they had to call in Chuck, the maintenance man. With my bare hands? Bad plan.
O que ele tem no inventário?
Gabo brought them in from his last escape and passed them out to all us patients. A truly amazing invention.
Nada para quebrar o radiador.
My room. It's the headquarters of the unofficial Happy Dale Patients Union. No way. Quickle's in there, and he's having one of those days today. Hey, Quickle!
What?
Quickle, what's your opinion on... the new nurse, Miss Palmer?
Too thin, anorexic, and her neckline is far too high, and her skirt's too low. The head honchos have hired her to destroy our morale. She's confiscated my latest issue of Workers' Struggle Daily. Miss Palmer must resign. She will be the end of us. I am outraged.
Quickle, knock it off.
Acho
He's
que
getting worse every day.
esse aí que não aparece, Quickly, só vai servir para fazer barulho e bater na porta em algum momento.
This is the old solitary confinement cell, but when Bennett prohibited such dastardly methods, it became a sort of storage room, until us patients managed to take it over.
Aqui é o tal do cassino.
Impossible. That psycho Kurgan left the key in the lock on the other side. We're all up there, the insane crowd and the crew that takes care of us. Great idea, so we can all remember who everyone is, because around here, every Tom, Dick, and Harry could be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The epitome of the over-friendly shrink. Hypocrite. I can't. There's glass in front of it. No can do, unless it was for voodoo purposes. Man, is she insistent when it comes to me taking my medication. She's the exact opposite of Miss Palmer. Friendly, pleasant, hard-working. Too bad it's her day off.
O Elvis Presley é enfermeiro aqui, né?
Seems like a sort of redneck version of Elvis.
O Ernie.
I wonder why they call him Nuno the Stickface. He's tortured me ever since I got here, and now he's trying to keep me from escaping.
Ah, esse é o Kurgan que roubou o plano de fuga.
He's a nice guy, but since he thinks his face is covered in ears, he comes off as a little eccentric. Wonder what he's staring at? An imaginary fly?
Esse é do 304. É do mesmo quarto que ele. Colega de quarto.
Sometimes he seems like he's gonna blow up at everybody. Bennett told me he holds the Guinness World Record for psychological disorders. Nice work, huh? Perfect set of teeth. They're fake, but perfect. He looks better in a hat. Seriously, you can tell he hasn't had an easy time in these last few months. He's got a lot of spunk for some reason, but sometimes he goes off on a wild tangent like today.
Shoot.
The other day, the one in the nurse's room went on the fritz, and they had to call in Chuck, the maintenance man.
Cool.
He lets us do whatever we want. Pretty cool guy. Hey, Ernie.
Hold on, Basco. What was all that yelling at Kurgan about?
Nothing. We were just playing, hide and go seek.
Oh? It's hard to believe you two get along. What do you need?
What do you think about the people at Happydale?
The employees or the patients?
Employees.
Who exactly?
The doctors.
My favorite is Bennett. He's reduced people's medication, and the solitary confinement, and the rough therapy sessions. He's a hard worker.
The nurses.
Ooh, they're all hotties. Too bad some of them are such whiny hags. That new one, Miss Palmer, I won't even look her in the face. Looks like a manhole cover.
The janitorial staff.
Oh, don't get me started on them. Today, that colorblind boob is on call. Always going on about Chuck Berry being the king, saying Elvis couldn't sing. Blasphemy!
Sorry, I actually wanted your opinion about one of the patients.
Which one?
Gabo Spiegelman.
I found out that an envelope arrives at Happydale every month, and inside is a $1 million donation. There's also a letter with no signature that asks that Gabo be treated kindly and well in exchange. That's why the guy lives like a prince. Intriguing, huh?
Jacob Kurgan.
He's bad news, Basco. Don't get anywhere near him. Even if you think you're a step ahead of him, he's already put you through the ringer, and he'd do it again in a snap.
Al Quickle.
Don't even think about talking to him today. He's going through such an intense rage over labor union demands that Dr. Bennett himself has ordered me lock him up in his room.
We really shouldn't be gossiping like this.
Okay.
What are you playing?
I'm not playing. This is Elvis brain training. A real blast. Amazing for jogging the memory and increasing your knowledge about the king. I know it all, except for the ones I miss.
Do you think I'm crazy?
More or less. More than Quickle, but less than Junior. You're more at Gabo's level, but with a little touch of Hollister, a dash of Marcello, and a bit of Mr. Nice Guy. Like a loon, Basco. Next question.
Yo, keep playing.
And winning.
It keeps us patients from moving around the different wings of the building.
Cool.
It's used to open the security door.
Oh.
I might as well try.
Just give it up. Basco, don't waste your tapping.
It doesn't look like you can push it open. This is Dr. Reset in Kurgan's room. Whoa, looks like that psycho doctored up his bed to make it look like he's lying under the blanket. That way people will think he's sleeping and won't notice he's gone. No, only Dr. Reset is in there, and I really don't want to talk to him.
Cool.
Junior and Mr. Nice Guy's digs. Only Junior's in there, staring out the window with that good old paper bag on his head. I think not.
Ele não quer entrar nos lugares. Vai lá pro próprio quarto, então.
Cool.
Hey, Marcelo! Why, thank you very much. What is it? Oh, a flower. Is it for me? It's lovely. A wonder of nature. Thanks, Marcelo.
You're welcome, Vasco.
That one's Marcelo's. It's Marcelo's. I don't see what for. I'm actually lucky to have him as a roomie. Hey, one question, Marcelo. Is it true you were the first contortionist mime in the whole world?
So they say. Apparently, people like my performances quite a bit, especially the one with the imaginary box.
What did that imaginary box routine look like?
Picture this. The typical contortionist act, in which a man twists his body over into itself until it's so tiny he can fit inside of a very teeny box. Though my innovation was to do so in an imaginary box, which is much more difficult than squeezing into a real one.
Bosco detests mimes. Bosco detests contortionists. Ergo, Bosco detests contortionist mimes.
Ugh.
Okay, I take back what I said. Let's change the subject. Hey, what's up with that rope on your pants?
I look completely ridiculous compared to the way I look with suspenders, don't I?
Sure do.
Thing is, when mine came loose yesterday, Miss Palmer almost lost an eye. But luckily, she didn't.
Yeah, talk about luck.
Well, yes! Though Miss Palmer then had the brilliant idea of burning them
What?
with a cigarette lighter.
She burned your suspenders? But they were your prized possession. What a spiteful old hag. I've got to go, pal.
Okay.
That's where Marcelo gets his Z's, if he knows how to get that far in the alphabet. It's not as comfy as the one Gina bought for our apartment, but I shouldn't be thinking about that now. That's where I hide my candy. Yeah, I want those candies. Huh? Whoa, a knife. Where'd that come from? I can't let anyone see this. Oh, and my candy. Can't forget about that.
Uma faca.
It mysteriously appeared underneath my pillow. The package isn't even open yet. My alarm clock, reading materials, and several cardboard boxes. It'll be sad to leave behind all these issues of Do-It-Yourself Science Illustrated, but obviously I can't take them with me. It's pretty big. No, nothing in there that I need. Hey, I never noticed there was a vent for the air duct system in here too. Gabbo says the cabinet is so close to the vent that you can't squeeze through there, but why not try?
Já tá fazendo as coisas sozinho.
Man, this is impossible. Someone put the cabinet so close to the air vent that getting through would be a miracle. I'd have to be Rubber Man to do this.
Tenho que arranjar um contorcionista.
Hey, one question, Marcelo. Could you get in the vent for the air conditioning ducts?
Through the vent? Wouldn't I love to, Basco? But I'm the great Marcelo, and I can't stoop so low as to perform such a simple magic trick. It's for my own good.
It's about your famous routine, the one with the imaginary box.
Yes?
What did that imaginary box routine look like?
I would appear on stage, climb inside an imaginary box, and after a few minutes of applause, I'd climb back out.
I don't quite get it. What was the imaginary box like?
Well, it was transparent, square, the lid open outward. It measured 3 feet on each edge.
Wait, I think I'm starting to get the idea. Yeah, I think I can picture it. It was a really small box. How did you manage to get inside?
It's obvious. Fold it up into a tiny ball.
Let's change the subject. I've got to go, pal.
Okay.
Show. Entra aqui na caixa.
It's just like the one Marcelo used to use in his shows. Knowing him, I'd better take this one step at a time. Let's just imagine I happen to have an imaginary box. Then could you perform your famous act?
No, because I'm not wearing any suspenders. How can I perform an act of that caliber without my suspenders? Where's the glamour?
You are so right. Well, I'll just put the box away for now, I guess.
Tem que arranjar uns suspensórios aqui.
Hi, Miss Palm.
Your medication.
More pills? I had my meds today, don't you remember?
You choose.
Okay.
Swallow. Good boy, Bosco. And keep an eye on your stuff. I saw Kurgan suspiciously fumbling around with your pillow. I bet he stole your hidden candy.
Really? Okay. How cool. She fell for it. Thank goodness for the old put the pills behind the wisdom teeth technique. Neuroshotgyne XR? Not a clue. No, Miss Palmer would taser me with her freaky little thing.
Vai entrar lá.
There's a few here, but Mr. Bookman's got all the sexiest covers. Is there an escape artist's manual? No? Then maybe some other day. They're whiteboards, the kind you write on with a special marker and erase with your shirt sleeve. One will suffice, don't you think? You can tell some people have never had one of these in their pocket before. Beautiful. Seriously. No, it's art. It's sacred. I go absolutely crazy over office supplies. It's better to steal the whole cookie jar than just one cookie. Nobody said anything, so I guess no one saw me take this. Wow, love those really fat ones. Good. I'll take the blue one. It's clean, in a vague sense of the term, that is. When I finally escape from here, I'll throw the paper clips away and use the container as a lunchbox. I hope it doesn't stop working. It's like a spittoon for the drugged-up, insane crowd. No need to rummage for long. There's just a couple of little paper cups and... the birthday candles from Monty Hollister's cake. Brand new.
Por que ele quer as velas de 102?
We haven't even lit them yet, to avoid Junior wetting his bed. But Hollister blew them out all the same.
Só tô juntando coisa que eu não sei pra quê.
I think Quickle gave it that name. You know, that socialist trade union agitator.
Parece até que eu tô num adventure game.
Little boy's room, Miss Palmer. Gotta go. Blasted Murphy and his law. Why is there no air duct vent in the room which could use ventilation the most?
Sem duto de ventilação.
Miss Palmer,
Scram, Bosco.
that new pill you gave me, what's it for?
Bennett's orders.
But what's it used for?
Bennett's orders, I said.
Bennett's? Oh, come on.
If it were up to me, it wouldn't be medication. So shut your trap.
I don't really care about that pill, but I do have other questions.
Well, I don't have any answers.
You shouldn't be threatening us with that taser, you know.
And you shouldn't come near me when it's in my hand, should you?
When is Miss Carrington coming back?
That's none of your business.
But she is feeling better, right?
It's none of my business.
You're just the substitute. When she comes back, you'll leave, right?
I'm your nurse, so watch your mouth.
What's your opinion? Did she fall accidentally, or did she jump?
The West Wing could drive anyone bonkers.
Miss Carrington was really happy working in this wing.
As corroborated by her swan dive out the window, right?
The truth is that nobody ever wants to work in the West Wing.
Psychopaths are not usually the life of the party.
You had just started working in the South Wing. Why did you have to come here and replace Miss Carrington?
Yeah, that South Wing sure is full of peace and quiet, isn't it? What's it to you?
Oops, I forgot to ask you one little detail about Miss Carrington. Talking about Miss Carrington makes me sad. Let's change the subject.
Sure. To nothing, I propose.
Didn't you forget the whiteboard therapy hour?
It's canceled today.
Why?
Because I don't want to.
I seriously need my whiteboard therapy. I'm daffy as a duck.
You can't convince me.
Okay, I guess I can skip my whiteboard therapy for one day. You're way too rude to talk to. Goodbye.
Out of here!
Que tudo que é radiador ele fica admirado.
Mr. Nice must be in a hurry, because he left those elastic straps hanging out.
Tiras elásticas? É. Deve ter a ver com suspensório, então.
I know what's gonna happen, but you can watch and learn. Calm down, Morgan. Nobody's gonna take it away from you. From what I understand, he's determined to get to Rancho Cucamonga.
Da onde que ele chegou a essa conclusão?
1, he has a cold, and talking would be bad for his throat. 2, he's 102 years old. Let's not ask too much of the guy. 3, he went mute at the age of 90-something. When Hollister leaves, I usually play a few games with good old Quickle. He hits with such rage.
Caramelo? É, ele tem dentes perfeitos. Tava ali na foto. Artificiais, mas perfeitos.
Your throat's mighty fine and your tonsils will shine. Splash, splash, splash. It's minty freshness galore.
Seu Ari... Ah, por isso que ele bate ali, é o motor do carro. E ele vai pra Chungamonga?
From what I understand, he's determined to get to Rancho
Cucamonga. E o outro vai pra... que é a carona pra Atalanta.
He is such a sweetheart. That's not doable. Talk with Mr. Nice. Where do you get these wild ideas?
É. Trocar a placa dele. Vou fazer uma placa pro rancho Chungamonga.
Okay. Hey, that's a great idea.
Ah, é só chegar perto.
The old switcheroo. And now, let's see if it all plays out the way I expect.
O Ari vai dar uma carona.
When I saw how much you hurt me, I bought the bear for his soul. When he saw how much I loved.
Na rota 66.
Those who say that life is worth it, we haven't met you at all. Now my dear agenda, nothing but hate in all my head. I bought the table head so.
Mas agora eles foram embora com a mala. Na imaginação.
Oh gee. The elastic straps are still on the outside. Mr. Nice, really? No, because if Mr. Nice turns around and notices it's missing, he may just faint. Don't want that.
Só as tiras.
Now I can. High quality merchandise. They sure look old, but they're still pretty darn elastic.
Ainda não é. Suspensor.
Good. Presto.
Agora sim.
They consist of two parts, the elastic strap and the clasps.
Vamos lá então, mímico contorcionista.
Yes, but I'll prepare things as well as possible first. What could that strange thing poking me inside my pocket be?
Don't worry, it happens to me too, especially when I wake up in the morning.
An imaginary box.
An imaginary box.
If only someone here knew how to put these suspenders on and hop inside.
Hey, me, Vasco, me, I can do it.
Well, these are for you then. Ladies and gentlemen, with you tonight, the great Marcelo!
Oh. Ay. Oh. Ay. Oh.
Marcelo, you okay?
Hmm?
Then get ready. Here comes the best part. And now, the great Marcelo will get out of the imaginary box and make his way through the imaginary tunnel.
Imaginary.
Until he reaches an imaginary trapdoor in the tunnel floor.
In the I'm inside the casino.
The great Marcelo's been teletransported.
I teletransported.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the great Marcelo will kindly remove the key from the lock and put it in my hand. I knew that psycho had left it in the lock. Some people use it to photocopy their butts. Kids these days. What in the world should I photocopy? It helps give an official veneer to our illegal nighttime card games. No, the guys might get annoyed, and Quickle would blame big business, poultry farmers, the government. What an amazing idea Gabbo had when he convinced Ernie to let us clean this place up and use it as our illegal gambling parlor. It's a cardboard box. It wouldn't hold my weight. The other day, Quickle just started banging on it, saying something about how it promotes bourgeois anorexia, until he busted it. The sliding iron weight came loose, and there's no way to use it anymore. No pun intended. It's come loose. Okay. It weighs quite a bit, but I can deal. It's nothing amazing, and there's no booze, but it helps create the right ambiance. None of these drinks are my style. Gabbo stole it from the infirmary a while back. It's the only unused one sitting around. That's the way into the ventilation ducts.
É o caminho da fuga, né?
Yes, just like Gabbo planned.
Right after going through the air vent in the casino, you'll find a map. Use it to get to the central fan.
Unless... I knew it! Psycho, 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 psycho! I should have known that Kurgan would take the map of the air ducts. I have no other choice but to find another map, or I'll never make it to the roof.
Arranjar outro mapa. O cara da manutenção, fã do Chuck Berry, é que deve ter um outro mapa. E por isso que dá tanta chamada nos radiadores aqui.
Well, let's give it a try.
Boys, stop that right away, or I'm...
Shoot, too loud. What can I do to keep it from being heard?
Tem que fazer algum barulho aqui. Alguma discussão. Para distrair
Listen,
o Ernie.
What do you think about the nurse that used to be here before Miss Palmer?
Too fat, a blimp, showed off too much of her bust like a common hussy. She was hired to infiltrate our ranks. She falsely claimed to sympathize with our demands, but she lied. Miss Carrington to the firing squad. She inflamed my indignation. I am outraged.
Oopsie daisy, broke. Ernie, the radiator in this hall is busted.
Again? You gotta be kidding me. And during Chuck's shift. Rose? Hey, doll. Tell that bird brain I need him in the West Wing pronto, okay? Chuck!
It's working. I just have to sit here and wait.
The colorblind guy, who do you think?
Luckily, I won the funnel during our last poker game.
By the way, Red, you been to the bowling alley that just opened near St. Joseph's?
Chuck Berry.
Elvis Presley.
Dude, yo, you ain't got a clue.
So, just like Chuck Berry then.
You listen up, Fatso. The day will come when you eat your words and you say Chuck Berry is the king.
Not in this lifetime. The king of rock and roll is Elvis. End of subject. Fix that radiator and scram, Buster.
Freaking coward.
They're like puppets hanging from my little strings. One day, he had the great idea of saying that Chuck Berry is the king. Oh my God, Ernie almost bit his head off. I bet that inside there I'll find the layout maps for the ventilation ducts. But Chuck might see me. It's too risky.
Vou escrever Chuck Berry aqui. Enganar que foi o Chuck. Boa ideia.
That is such a good idea. Chuck is the real king. Presto. And now... Hey, Ernie, are you a Chuck Berry fan?
Not on your life, Basco.
Oh, since your picture on the photo panel says Chuck is the king.
What? Chuck!
Hey, man.
I caught you red-handed. This is your pen, isn't it, punk?
That's not mine.
Come over here. Erase that with your tongue.
Chuck is the real... I never.
All right. I'll give you 1 minute to change your mind.
No.
Rápido, antes que eles olhem.
They're mine. And that flashlight would be amazingly handy for finding my way around those air ducts.
Well?
Never.
Let's have a look. What the... I gotta figure out how to get to that ventilator fan.
Só a Bá vai entender esse mapa. Vai sair no
Okay.
cassino de novo.
Here we go. good news. I found the central fan, and apparently the coast is clear. Somebody left this door open. Kurgan! Oh my! Oh, he's... Where's his head?
Sem
Was it
cabeça.
sliced off by the fan? Oh! How gross! This changes everything. Better tell Gabo about this. Where am I gonna put you, dude? Down into it.
Uh-oh.
Brian burned Kurgan's head? And then what?
Capítulo 3. Suicídio que é
I'm
provisório?
pretty sure this is the place.
So what happened to Brian in the end?
Well, hey, look! There's the car Bennett rented.
Bennett? Wait a minute. Brian was trying to escape because you were gonna send him to jail.
Incorrect. He escaped because he overheard a phone call where I was making unrelated accusations about a patient who's pretending to be insane. Jacob Kurgan. Brian, on the other hand, is innocent. Basco did not kill Colonel Kordsmeyer. The recordings I took of his hypnotherapy sessions demonstrated from a clinical perspective, but unfortunately that is not enough to convince the jury to find him innocent. Which is why we are here now, at Lieutenant Colonel Jerome D. Chapman's house.
Chapman? Wasn't he Kordsmeyer's second in command?
I'm out of here.
The one who killed himself during Brian's trial?
Well, yes and no. My theory is that he didn't commit suicide. Instead, whoever's behind all this treachery most likely murdered him.
And you think we'll find some clues here to back up your story?
Exactly. Plus, Chapman called Judge Whitley the day before he died. He wanted to meet with her to discuss something important. I don't know what it could be, but perhaps we'll find some answers in this house.
Doctor, I still need you to answer a few questions, but believe me, I'm on your side.
All right. You look around down here, and I'll search around upstairs.
Hey, you think the hot water's working here? If I don't get a shower, those clues are going to escape from me. A nice hot shower, a fresh, clean outfit that's a bit more casual. Man, this must be where they found Chapman's body. Freaky. The best I can do is ignore it while I search for clues to prove Chapman didn't kill himself, as well as the supposed message he was trying to get to the judge. Come on, Gina, get down to investigating. Pretty nice. A little old-fashioned for me, though. Chapman died of a gunshot to the head, and there were no other signs of violence, so this bat can't be used as a clue in the investigation. No, I'm not going to pretend to be a baseball player or a psychopath. It looks specially placed there, so that you'll run into it every time you come through the door. Good idea. But besides looking through it, the time has come to do a full, in-depth ransacking of this room.
Ela vai procurar tudo sozinha, daí vai me dizer que não tem nada e acabar com a minha investigação. No banheiro, ela deixou olhar coisa por coisa.
I must not be on the right track. I've looked everywhere, but I haven't found a single thing that resembles a clue. This is going to be harder than I expected. Well, if I really have to. Kordsmeyer's Slayer faces maximum sentence. Damn the press. What do they know about the Slayer? What for? When I searched through the room, I read a little. Besides the headlines, there wasn't any interesting news. And Chapman hadn't scribbled or underlined a word.
Tem mosquitão aqui na casa, parece. Do tamanho de helicóptero.
Huh, looks comfy. Just like that? With all the work I have left? No, I'll have to make up some excuse before I can do that. I spent all night driving, and Gabbo only let me rest for an hour or two, so I'd better not stare at it for too long. Not so sure about that. It's not that I wouldn't love to, but I can't sleep now. When I opened it during my thorough search, I verified that there's nothing but ash inside. You won't find anything but that. I'm not cold. There's a pile of photocopies. There are reports on recruits who were under Chapman's command at some time. One thing I did find, though, is his birth date, August 19th, 1953. No, I snooped around them before, and there wasn't anything noteworthy in the pile of photocopies. That radio is one that picks up broadcasts from all over the world, although they never seem to work. I already looked inside and behind each and every one of those books, and nothing drew my attention. They're filled with those typical dust collectors you can never seem to get yourself to throw away. I took a peek before, and there's nothing but a bunch of useless junk. A broken blender, an 8-track tape player, empty boxes, some old issues of Lure and Tackle Monthly, stuff like that. Oh, old Granny Timmons had one just like it. Okay, I'll start training for retirement. Okie doke, had enough of that. Nice still life he's got sitting on top. When I did my general rummaging in the room, I also opened the fridge. It's empty and turned off. I did that already, and logically all I found were pots, pans, and food. I already had too much tonight on our way over here, but maybe I could make some for Bennett. Nah, I'll ask him if he wants some later. For being a widower's house, there's a lot of them. Most men get by with a can opener and a bottle cap remover. No, none of them would be of any use to me.
Serviu para alguma
Oh,
coisa.
wait. This one might be nice, actually. Bennett gave it to me before my shower. It's a photocopy of the suicide note they found next to Chapman's body. It says, "To the Honorable Judge Lutricia C. Whitley, I beg the Lord Almighty to forgive me for what I am about to do, but I beg even more for justice to be restored in the United States of America, a country which seems to have given up on it without remorse. What's the use of defending your country if your country won't defend you? What good did 40 years of service and a perfect record do for Colonel Nathaniel H. Kordsmeyer? How is it that a disgusting murderer like Brian Basco can slip through the cracks of the justice system by making up a simple lie and that phony amnesia? I sincerely hope that this gesture of mine, disgracing myself and losing my honor, can at least help make sure that people like you, Your Honor, change your mind when you rule on this case and make the right decision. I hope you put the murderer where he belongs and justice back in its place. God have mercy on my soul." More effective than insecticide.
Será que o cara tem um porão aqui com a entrada pelo poço ou fechou o poço e trancou? só para não ter acidente.
There was a similar one back at my folks' place. It's locked with a padlock. They look like Douglas firs. I don't want to get too far away from the cabin.
Verdade é que o outro fugiu com o carro dela, né?
The riverbed is completely dry, but what's that there? Well, I guess now's the time to put my exotic dancing skills to the test. Awesome, a wire cutter.
Não perdeu a forma, não. Agora não tem mais ação nenhuma aqui.
I guess Bennett rented it to come here. I don't even have the keys, and I've always been awful at hot wiring cars. Not that I have anywhere to go.
E ela ainda não notou que o carro dela não está aqui.
No, Bennett said he'd take care of searching upstairs. It might not be a bad idea to ask him how he's doing, though.
What is it, Gina?
First of all, can I make you some coffee?
Don't tempt me, Gina. I gave up on coffee the day Brian ran away.
How come?
After recent events, my brain has been so traumatized that consuming any stimulants could create an imbalance in my mental equilibrium. You know, I produce enough adrenaline and dopamine to fill an entire coffee maker myself.
Oh, I bet. Or even two. Hey, about Chapman. Could you tell me anything more about Chapman's death?
He had been fishing that day, but we know he returned here in mid-afternoon because he received a telephone call at 6:15 p.m.
Is anything known about that call Chapman received the afternoon he died?
I haven't figured it out yet, but what is clear is that the call was cut off. In fact, the line was cut off for a few days, and they came to repair it during the investigation.
Now that you mention it, who investigated the case?
In the beginning, the county sheriff, but then the military and the FBI took over and sent him home. Since the contact who gave me the keys to this place belongs to the FBI, I know the investigation was a mess, almost non-existent.
Why was the investigation so sloppy?
Kordsmeyer's death and Brian's trial had already stirred up too much of a fuss. Since Chapman's demise seemed like a clear case of suicide, with a gunshot to the temple and his own gun in his hand and no other signs of violence, the feds and army came in, they took a few fingerprints, a couple photos, rummaged through some drawers, and case closed.
Why was the investigation so sloppy?
Like I said, the day before, he called Judge Whitley and told her he had to give her an important document. Just imagine it. Hey, Judge Whitley, tomorrow I'll be delivering my suicide note to you. Well, you don't need a degree in psychiatry to realize it doesn't add up.
What do you know about Chapman's life?
Very little. He was born right here in Winkapin County. He loved sports. He was a calm and quiet man. His wife died a few years back, and he isn't known to have had any romances since.
Why is the cabin so clean 6 months after Chapman's death?
The cleaning lady has been coming in once a week because Chapman paid her for 6 months' work in advance, and her time's not up yet.
Let's drop Chapman's death for a bit.
Okay, any other questions?
You know, about our objectives in this house. What did we come here to do?
Our mission here consists of 2 parts. To find that message Chapman wanted to give the judge, and to look for clues which prove my theory that he did not commit suicide.
Have we found any of the stuff we're looking for?
Unfortunately, I haven't. However, everything seems to indicate that Chapman had a laptop here, which is now missing.
Who took it? The military? The FBI?
Perhaps, but it also could have been taken by the killer.
Or maybe Chapman hid it himself.
Good thinking, Gina. Good thinking.
Do we have authorization from anyone to be here?
Not exactly. but sort of. I have a friend at the FBI. I asked him for help, and he sent me the keys to the cabin and several documents related with the investigation. That and my status as a court psychiatrist should keep anyone from bothering us.
One other thing. By the way, about that well, you wouldn't have those keys by any chance, would you?
Yes, hold on, I'll toss them to you. Here you go.
Damn, right under the kitchen cabinets. Where are they? I bet they fell into that hole. My hand doesn't fit there either. Hey, Bennett?
Yes?
The keys slipped out of my hands and, well, they fell into the cabinet and...
And? I'd imagine something as silly as that would be no problem for you. Or am I mistaken?
Problem? No, of course. I just wanted to keep you informed. Damn it. That's a great excuse for taking a load off.
What's on your mind?
Hey, about Gabbo? Why is Gabbo not in Happydale?
Destiny creates strange bedfellows, Gina. Allow me to explain. The night Brian escaped, I stayed at work very late. And suddenly... Miss Palmer, you forgot how to knock before entering?
I want Basco's recordings and the report.
What?
Got 3 seconds. 1,
I'm not giving you a thing.
2.
And while you were escaping, Miss Palmer stole the recordings and the report on Brian, right?
I'm afraid so. Luckily, I had just sent a backup copy to my computer at home, and only Judge Whitley and I know the password.
How did you and Gabbo escape from Happydale?
Gabbo and I hid all night in an abandoned wing of the hospital, in a sort of old morgue. And in the morning, we snuck into the laundry truck, pretending to be janitors.
What did you and Gabbo do after escaping?
We went to my house to retrieve my recordings of Brian's hypnotherapy sessions. But when we got there was a very suspicious-looking car watching the front door, so we didn't dare go in.
Did you tell Gabbo to contact me during Brian's fake funeral?
Yes. I mistakenly thought that you knew his whereabouts. Meanwhile, I came here and began to investigate the Chapman case.
Where is that crazy guy now?
Oh, don't you worry. He'll be back any minute now, with money from a few bingo parlors, some fresh bruises, and a bad case of crabs. He's hyperactive, you know.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
The thing is, about those keys...
Yes?
You wouldn't happen to have another copy, would you?
I'm sorry, Gina. I only had the ones I tossed to you.
I'll leave you alone and continue snooping around here.
All right.
Então hoje vamos parando por aqui. O Exou Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, as dicas, a torcida, as traduções. Desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.